Sister Rosetta Tharpe by J.P. Miller, illustrated by Markia Jenai. Table of Contents. Up to the Sky, Making Her Name, Precious Memories. Up to the Sky. Have you ever had an idea for doing something in a new and creative way? Did you ever want to share that thing with others? That's how Sister Rosetta Tharpe felt when she played her electric guitar. Her music changed what the world listened to. Rosetta stepped onto the stage of Carnegie Hall in New York City. Her fingers held the guitar pick tightly. She lifted her head and began singing Up to the Sky. Incredible sounds came from her guitar. The people watching her were amazed. Rosetta was truly a musical leader. Making her name. Rosetta was 6 years old when she moved to Chicago, Illinois with her mother. She spent Sunday mornings at Robert's Temple Church of God in Christ. Those mornings were different from anything she had ever experienced. Jazz musicians from New Orleans blew their horns and scraped washboards. The ones from the Mississippi Delta slid harmonicas across their lips and plucked their guitars. There, she learned how to be a good performer as she sang and played. Many of the songs that she heard in church were sad. They talked about times when Black people were enslaved and seeking freedom. Rosetta sang about happier things. When they heard her, people felt like throwing their hands up and celebrating. Rosetta continued singing and playing guitar in her church as she grew up. She kept doing it when she grew up and married a preacher. But Rosetta's marriage lasted only a few years. Soon, she had a lot of decisions to make. She wanted to keep bringing music to people. Rosetta packed her guitar and moved to Harlem in New York City. Nightclubs were on every street corner. They were looking for new entertainers. Rosetta began performing at the biggest of them all, the Cotton Club. Rosetta loved God and her church. She loved singing in nightclubs too. Some people were upset that she sang church songs in nightclubs. She did not let this stop her. Each week, she performed with the Lucky Millinder Orchestra. Later, she signed a contract with Decca Records. When she performed, she sang and picked her guitar and played her heart out. Famous names. Rosetta played with very famous musicians. She shared a stage with jazz musician Duke Ellington. She was the star of concerts with the Dixie Hummingbirds. Precious Memories. Rosetta was becoming a leader in music, but her hit song Rock Me upset her gospel fans. Many of them thought she was singing to a man and not to God. Rosetta lost some fans because of it. She worked hard to keep going. Many people loved her new style of music. A special record. Rosetta recorded a song called Strange Things Happening Every Day in 1944. It has been called the first rock and roll song. Rosetta played her guitar and headlined concerts. She played the famous Carnegie Hall. She was one of the first musicians to own a special tour bus. She was even asked to play for troops during World War II. Rosetta worked hard as a musician. She needed to make money. A promoter helped her plan a big wedding at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. Fans bought tickets to see Rosetta marry for the third time. After the wedding, she performed in front of her biggest crowd ever, 25,000 fans. People had never been to a concert like this. But the big wedding and concert were not enough for her to stay famous forever. Rosetta retired and started a quiet life. She lived in Pennsylvania with her mother and husband. One day, Rosetta answered her phone. It was a British promoter. He asked Rosetta to come to the United Kingdom. Rock and roll stars such as Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, and Johnny Cash were famous now. He wanted people to hear rock and roll from the person who first played it. When Rosetta was 49 years old, she toured Europe. She was a leader once again. This time, she was sharing rock and roll music with a new generation. People around the world had started playing music in new and interesting ways. Although most of them did not know it, Rosetta was a big part of the reason. Rosetta Tharpe died on October 9, 1973. People called her the grandmother of rock and roll. Her name was put into the Blues Hall of Fame in 2007. It was put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018. She had always been a leader. Now, people would know about her. All this new stuff they call rock and roll? Well, I've been playing that for years.